So I was initially diagnosed at the end of my senior year of high school. And at that point, I had already been in contact with the coach here at U of O. And he was really supportive and was like, oh, like, do what you got to do and come try out. And something that I appreciated about the situation was that he was very adamant that he wasn't going to like treat me any differently, which I thought was cool. And I didn't want any kind of like special treatment, even though I had to, go through chemotherapy over the summer and stuff. So I was diagnosed at the end of high school, and then I finished that up and came to school, made the team, and then was having a great time. And then went home for winter break and had just like a checkup, and then they told me that it had come back. So yeah, I left school and then was trying to figure out like the route I was going to take to recover. Then COVID happened. So that sort of put a whole wrinkle in like the treatment plan that I had. Because one of the things I had to do was a stem cell transplant, which completely gets rid of your immune system. So they didn't want me to do that like at the peak of COVID. So they had me do like a surgery first and then do the stem cell transplant. I think without a doubt, my biggest support system was my mom. I had to do a tandem stem cell transplant. And so for the first one, no one could be there with me because it was when COVID was a little bit more extreme and they didn't know as much about it. So I was in the hospital for 11 days by myself. And then for the second one that I did, my mom was able to be there with me. And I didn't make her stay like the whole time because I wanted her to be able to do her own thing as well. But yeah, I think overall it was my mom. And my coach at the time was very supportive, and that was sort of another tough aspect. It was like he actually passed away in his sleep during all of this, and I had just been talking to him the day before. And I always remember I was at home. Actually, I wasn't in any treatment at that point, but I was up in my room, and the captain of the team at the time called me and told me. And I mean, my initial reaction was just like, there's no way. Like, I was talking to him, the day before. Up until he passed away, he was one of the biggest support systems for me. Like, he would call me as much as he could and just check in and see how I was doing. But I think when it came back, there was definitely a moment where I wasn't sure if I was going to make it through, or if I wanted to continue with treatment, or if I wanted to just, let it run its course and just be done at that point. But I think something that I was really fortunate to have was the support systems that I had. But also it's important to just have something to work towards and give yourself something to look forward to. I think what motivated me most to like get back to playing lacrosse was just that it had been sort of like an initial drive for where I wanted to go to college. It was always something that was what I wanted to do. So it was never really a question to me that I wasn't going to go back and play. When I was re-diagnosed, like the team and my coach at the time were all like really supportive and would reach out to me once, if not twice a week, to check in and to see how I was doing, or they'd call me after they played a game and let me know how it went. And even though I was able to like watch the game, it was still cool that they would call me and they'd keep me included in like team activities whenever they could. So it was a super helpful support system that I had. Having that like end goal gave me something to really work towards. So the second I would finish treatment, I would already be like working out as much as I could and trying to get back to where I was. I think my mindset has changed a lot since recovering or even since being diagnosed. And I think going through that experience made me much more positive person overall as well. Just like understanding what really is important in life and sort of knowing that it's okay to not get stressed out about the little things, because there are these massive things that can happen. But I'd say as an athlete, it gives me a mindset that if something hurts or something's difficult, it sort of gives me a reference point of just being like, okay, well, here's something in my mind that was really difficult and that really hurt. So this is going to be okay. My first game my sophomore year was that was like the COVID season. So we only ended up having 3 games, I think. And I'm pretty sure I missed one because I had COVID. But I remember coming back for my first game, and I had sort of gone into that expecting to not really play at all and just like be happy being on the team and getting to practice and be active every day. I got my first goal against OSU, and that was a pretty special feeling because I think that was a moment where I really realized that, like, okay, I am like recovered and able to get back to where I want to be and play the sport that I love to play. Our coach at the time like gave me the game ball for that game, and that was probably has been one of my favorite moments throughout all my years playing here, was getting that first goal and sort of that being a real milestone of like, all right, I can come back and I can really do this.